Here's a fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! Taylor gets this one out towards center field to the short porch, and it's a grand slam! It's a floater, out to short. And it's booted off the shortstop's glove! Just like they drew it from Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! Grant Fournier, two-run shot to right.
From the heart of Gloucester County, it's Thursday Night Football on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. The wind is whipping, not in that video because that was not recorded today. But we welcome you over to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting Thursday night coverage of the Pennsauken Indians and the Washington Township Minutemen here from Tom Brown Field. I'm Dan Wilkins, and later tonight I'm going to be joined by Damian Waiters. He was supposed to come in as color commentator today. He ran into some travel issues, so I'm going to be flying solo for the first couple minutes of the game. I hope that you all understand and can stick with me for the duration while we wait for him to get here. It's obviously with a long weekend ahead, first weekend of the school year. Traffic has been crazy, so we apologize for any technical run-ins we may encounter along the way. But tonight is going to be a battle between a powerful quarterback for Washington Township and a powerful running back for Pennsauken. R.J. Blunt rushed for over 1,500 yards during his junior year, his first as a transfer from Collingswood. He's a Pennsauken resident, but he came back home for his junior year, and in his first game he rushed for 66 yards. Well, he got those jitters out of his system quickly because by the time Eastern came around in the last week of September, he had 24 rushes, 346 yards. Yes, that's right, 346 yards and 6 touchdowns. He had every single point for Pennsauken in a 49-29 win over the Eastern Vikings. Now, of course, that was last year. We talk about this head-to-head matchup. It's only happened once, and it was this time last year. Washington Township won 28-7. But with R.J. Blunt entering his kind of final form, and with the Temple commit looking for another strong performance after going for another 150-yard rushing performance last week versus Camden Catholic, it's going to be fun, and I think that this game is going to be closer than last year. And, of course, for Washington Township, you have Cole Aquino. I mean, somebody who might be one of the most efficient passers we've seen in all of South Jersey football in the last few years. Had, again, almost 2,000 passing yards in the 2024 season. Had over 200 passing attempts. And only had 3 games in Washington Township's 10-3 campaign where he threw under 100 passing yards. So expect more of the same today. Pennsauken will keep the ball on the ground, but their offensive line will aid them. And I think that this is going to be a high-scoring game. And then Washington Township, they're not afraid to go to the air with Aquino. And again, 213 passing attempts for him last year. He made 135 of them. That's up near the 60%, 65% mark. So he's going to be quite good tonight, and we're going to see what Pennsauken can do to counter that as they're going to look to avoid the Indians losing 28-6 or worse like they did in 2024. And again, for Mike Schatzman, this is his 8th year. The expectation is just the same. They had a fantastic postseason run in 2024, and both teams kicked off their Week 0 campaigns with resounding wins. Washington Township beat Hillsborough 43-12 on opening night. Meanwhile, Pennsauken beat the doors off of Camden Catholic 34-0 in their opening night in a revival of one of South Jersey's oldest rivalries that had not been around for a handful of years, but with a new Camden Catholic head coach, they brought it back. Pennsauken's on the field. Can't you tell? I can hear it right through my headset. But it's the Pennsauken Indians and the Washington Township Minutemen. We've got introductions, we've got the national anthem, and we've got a 6 o'clock kickoff. Again, we are waiting for our producer, Damian Waiters. He's running into some travel issues tonight with some bad traffic on this Thursday evening. So I will try to, with my 2 hands, my 2 eyes, and my 1 brain, to do as much as I can here for this Pennsauken and Washington Township game. But either way, though, we'll see you guys in a couple minutes. We will air the national anthem performed by Sophia Rohenna tonight for Washington Township. We'll be right back in just a moment. So there you go. There's the introduction from the public address announcer upstairs. And between two veteran head coaches, Clinton Tabb in his 17th year with Pennsauken, Mike Schatzman in his 8th year with Washington Township. Both teams, again, with dominant starts to their year. Pennsauken 34-zip over Camden Catholic last week on the road, as Pennsauken back-to-back weeks on the road to start the year. Washington Township, after a road trip down to Rowan for the Battle at the Beach versus Hillsborough, they won that game 43-12. And we will see a battle between two teams. One of them will get their second win, and another will get their first loss. Again, I am flying solo for the first couple of minutes of this game. I'm going to try to do as best as I can with the clock. That's going to be the most important thing. Again, my producer, Damian Waiters, he's run into some travel issues tonight. We are going to stay on the air for the national anthem, sung by Sophia Rohana.
National anthem, a member of the choir, and a cheerleading captain, senior Miss Sophia Rohana.
From Washington Township, let's play ball. I apologize to the folks at home who might have had their TV speakers blown out by myself putting my mic on. But going to get ready for a 6 o'clock kickoff here from Tom Brown Field. Now, the last time we were here, the game was delayed by 30 minutes because during said national anthem, an assistant coach from the visiting team or somebody came up and turned off two of the light stands, the ones that you see to your left, and there's one behind us, that both got shut off unintentionally during the national anthem. There were electricians all over the place, administrators all over the place trying to figure out what happened, and I have been under strict orders to guard the light posts tonight to keep this game going, especially because there could be rain on the way. You don't see it in front of you, but behind us there are some powerful clouds that looks like around 7 o'clock we're going to hit a 70% chance of rain here from Tom Brown Field. We've got Thursday night football, Pennsauken and Washington Township. The Minutemen won this game by 22 points the last time we saw them. This year very well could be different with R.J. Blunt, the Temple commit, going into his finest hour. We're underway here from Tom Brown Field. It's returned at the 20, And he's going to get some good distance here. How about this for a start to the game? He's going to get sent out of bounds inside the 35. That's number 21, Isaac Parra. And Washington Township with incredible field position to start the game. That is exactly what you wanted for Washington Township. You cannot ask for a better start for Cole Aquino, who right now has all of the cards in his book. We're just getting started. An 8-second kickoff, again returned by Parra. Here is Aquino getting ready to go for his first play of the night. One receiver on each side. They'll go with the single back, rush up the middle for a carry of, it looked like maybe 5 or so yards. To line of scrimmage to start the play was on the 29-yard line. He got 5 yards. It's 2nd and 5. Let's take a look at the Washington Township player profile for Cole Aquino. 1,620 passing yards last year as a junior, 11 TDs, 6 interceptions, and 9 games with 100 or more passing yards. They throw to the flat on the right side. And that should be enough to move the chains, I think. We'll see how far they give Washington Township here, and they do for a first down. Got it out to Lizer on the right side. First and 10, and now inside the red zone for the Minutemen. They are on the 19-yard line, it looks like. Got a receiver out far left, multiple men in motion that time. Hand off, up the middle, it's Colin Beeler. The senior back who rushes out to the right, multi-sport athlete for the Minutemen. And already on that progression, they're going to get 7 yards. Actually, 8 yards on the carry. They are up to now the 11-yard line. 2nd and short for the Minutemen as they're going to look to punch this one in very quickly here. Might be a blessing in disguise for Pennsauken if Washington Township scores early, because that will get through for a first down diving forward. It's going to be short, but they will be, the marching band prepares. Again, it's Parker on the rush. They're going to drop the sticks. It's 1st and goal from the 3. As Washington Township is going to look to score very early. Look at how close they're getting to the line of scrimmage. Barreling forward on the handoff. Touchdown, Minutemen. What a start. Just about 2 minutes and 10 seconds into this one. And a handoff to, I believe that was Colin Beeler. Makes it 6-0 Washington Township. Looks like they will go for a standard PAT here. On the kick will be Luke Sheets. It's up away. This one is long gone, and it's good. That one almost cleared the parking lot as Washington Township leads this thing 7-zip, 9:51 in the first quarter. We'll be right back on DWB. Seven 0 9:51 to play in the first as Washington Township gets through very quickly. Referees, they were having a discussion at the end of the play. In fact, they're still having that discussion. I guess everything's all right. Now Washington Township will kick this one off, and we'll see if Pennsauken can match what Washington Township did on their first drive. Again, Sheets had the PAT. He is back. And a single returner, number 2, Jabari Sanabayata for the Indians. He rolls it out to the left. Sanabayata has it, tries to find a gap, and he will get swallowed up. And they're going to send him to the ground here after the whistles as Pennsauken takes over They tried to get it out to the left. Couldn't get, I think, past the 20. It looks like they're going to spot this one on the left hash at the 21-yard line. As let's take a look, we usually do quarterback previews, but even though Nazir Negron had a good season with the core returning back, R.J. Blunt is the man we're going to look at today. He had 209 rushes last year for 1,585 rushing yards, 21 touchdowns. He had 7 games out of Pensauken's 9 with 100-plus rushing yards, and he had 4 with 200-plus. To the left side, he'll get stopped at the line of scrimmage. Let's go back to that graphic real quick. If you look at the bottom, his best game, we previewed this in the open. It was September 27th versus Eastern. It was a 49-29 win for Pennsauken. And it saw R.J. Blunt line up for 6 touchdowns, 24 rushes, and 346 yards. And the little note I put at the bottom, the NFL single-game rushing record, Adrian Peterson back in 2007, he beat that record by 50 yards. And obviously high school and NFL, 2 very different things, but puts into perspective how good of a season he had in 2024 as a junior. The transfer from Collingswood, he gets his second rush on 2nd and 10 from the 21. He barrels forward for a few yards. Third and 6. I think what Pennsauken could run into issues with the Washington Township defense is how are they going to manage this strong defensive line, and if you are going to be a one-trick pony where R.J. Blunt is going to make up most of your offensive possessions, all Washington Township has to do is stop the run, and that's what they did right there. Rush to the left, 3 in a row gets stopped, mostly for neutral gain, but they're able to get 1 yard on that. It's 4th and mid-range. And they'll switch. Pennsauken will put out their special teams unit. So already a great start for the Minutemen as they're going to line up to punt this one away. The quarterback, Nazir Negron, will punt this one away. He breaks through. It was almost blocked. Very close to being a blocked punt. And some good backspin there for Washington Township as they'll now take over from the 40-yard line for their second drive of the day after a very brief score from Cole Aquino to Colin Beeler. 7:38 left in the first quarter. And as we mentioned, already 7-0. You can see the sun popping out behind us with the glare on the screen. As we mentioned, there should be some rain potentially coming later tonight. We didn't have a lot, but it's saying that rain is forecasted to start in 33 minutes. There is a thick line coming right now. It's over Wilmington, King of Prussia, Chester, and it just passed through Reading. It doesn't look like there's going to be any lightning, which is a good sign because they can play in the rain, especially on the turf. Rush to Beeler. He's got some room. Hello, Colin Beeler. He's going to get another first down and then some. A rush of nearly 20 for Washington Township. And they are making themselves known in this first quarter. Already with a 7-0 lead. They move the chains. They get it up to the 22-yard line for a gain of 18. Aquino, handoff. Beeler again finds a gap in the middle, and he's going to get all the way up to the 10-yard line. So rushes of 18 and 12, respectively, have put Pennsauken back on against the wall again, and it has put Washington Township back in the limelight with a fantastic first few drives to start this game. And also should be noted, Washington Township's working very quickly here. They got that first score in 2 minutes, 10 seconds. And then it's only taken them a couple of minutes to get back in here and back in the red zone after a 3-and-out by Pennsauken. Left side, another rush by the Minutemen will fall for a gain of 6, or rather gain of 4. I believe that was number, can't tell from this small roster. I apologize. The roster here was printed a little bit small for my eyes, but that's okay. I think that might have been Paris Pratt, the receiver, getting the rush that time. 2nd and 5, 6 yards to go before the end zone. He's going to go to the left side. Colin Baylor's going to have his second of the night. Touchdown, Minutemen. Talk about a hot start midway through the first quarter, and it's already 13-zip Township. Again, just domination on the rushing side. We haven't seen Colaquino even attempt one pass. I mean, I think he did one to the flat. That was about it. That's all we've seen. And Washington Township, 5:47 in the first, and it's already a 2-score game. Luke Sheets will go back to kick the extra point, and this one is another booming shot. It hits off of the back wall. That would have been good from well downtown. As with 5 minutes, 40 seconds left in the first quarter, Washington Township putting a grip on this one early, 14-zip. And the day for Luke Pokrovsky. Outfielders and communicators. Here we go, 14-0. Washington Township looking to kick this one off again. Sanabayata once again back to receive, back to return. Elias Pagan, another offensive starter for Pennsauken, looking like he's going to get a shot to return. This one's up and away again. This one is going to go back through the end zone, and how about a rare touchback at the high school football level? I don't say it's rare, but we've only seen, that's only the second one we've seen this year, and this is our 5th game of the season. And again, Pensauken's going to have to figure out that rushing game because this Pennsauken team only passed for about 250 yards with Nazir Negron in 2024. Now, it worked when they played teams like Camden Eastside and Cherry Hill West, which is where we saw Pennsauken last year. We saw them twice over at the home of the Indians, but this year it's going to be a little bit different. QB in the shotgun, some great snap reads on the defensive line, and R.J. Blunt will get swallowed up. Again, Pennsauken will need just something to go their way, hoping for them, at least if you're a Pennsauken fan, you hope that they can draw some fouls, get some momentum going, because right now what they're doing just isn't cutting it. They had 3 rushes to the left that just didn't really go anywhere. And that never is a good motivator as a team when you look at the scoreboard and you see that you've got 5 minutes left in the first quarter, you're down by 2 scores. It's kind of an indicator there's a long way to go. And when there's a long way to go, there's a lot farther you can fall, but there's a lot farther that you can crawl back into the game. 2nd and 7, Blunt gets swallowed up again. Pennsauken still running with the old tried and maybe true. We'll have to see if it'll amount to anything, but as fans file in, it is a packed house here at Tom Brown Field, one of the nicest facilities in all of South Jersey. That baseball field in the background, we've seen that place plenty of times during the summer. The Washington Township Senators, who appeared in the Tri-County Baseball League Carter Cup Final, saw their best games through the playoffs. Saw a little bit of everything from Washington Township, but I remember looking over on a hot summer night over to Tom Brown Field and thinking this is where we're going to be on September 4th. Negron drops back for his first pass attempt of the night. He will take it himself. He is hit below the waist and will get scampered out of bounds. We'll see. I think it might have been short, but Fourth and 1. How about this? Up the middle. Where does it fly? Cowbells are ringing because it's a turnover on downs. Washington Township. Man, that's just not a good spot for Pennsauken there. 4th and 1. They had maybe their their most promising run of the night, but still short of a first down. A 3-and-out on the first drive, and now a turnover on downs put Washington Township in fantastic position. Four minutes, 10 seconds left in the first quarter. 14-0, Washington Township. Dropping back, Aquino will pass. The pass is tipped up and incomplete. Whole bunch of folks in on that one, but Pennsauken read that pass like a book, and Aquino's second pass attempt of the night will be incomplete. Second and 10 after the pass attempt by Aquino. 4:05 to play in the first. Two receivers to the left for the Minutemen. Handoff. Wow, that was a strong carry that time. And Township's going to get a first down. So they'll move the chains, and Washington Township, who has already put their stamp on this one midway through the first quarter. 2 rushing touchdowns by Colin Beeler. Turnover on downs by Pennsauken on the second offensive drive, still short of a first. First and 10 Minutemen. They are up at the 14-yard line. From the shotgun, they hand off to a different man this time, and he is through. The hits keep on coming for the Minutemen. 3 scores in the first quarter. This time coming from number 18. It might have been Carmine Martino on the play there. No, that is number 10, Jalen Robinson, who picked up a score when we covered them in the playoffs versus Cherry Hill East. It is now 20-0 Washington Township. He's going to be 3 for 3. That is 3 straight extra points that nearly go into the parking lot. They've got a guy all the way out on the track to receive them, and that one actually looked like that did go over the fence. How about that? Well, there's a few minutes left in the first. A DWB car looking on with no passengers, of course. As it's 3:16 in the first, we'll take a quick break. It's 21-0 Washington Township. Took it out of the back of the end zone, or took it out of the front of the end zone, if you will. Rosters are flying everywhere. It's a windy night in Washington Township. .316 left in the first. Pennsauken still searching for their first down, as R.J. Blunt, who looked like he was going to be a man to watch this game, still is. You don't have a 1,500-yard junior rushing season, not to mention his commit to Temple, who have definitely been recruiting locally in the era of K.C. Keeler, as Blunt rushes up the middle. Again, second touchback of the night. Blunt got a yard, and it's 2nd and 9. The band plays on to our left. The the famous Washington Township Minutemen. They say in Texas everything is bigger in Texas. Well, in Washington Township, everything's also bigger here. We've got a 2,000-seat, 2,500-seat auditorium.
Very big.
And performing arts center to our right. Got one of the largest football fields in all of South Jersey. As Negron steps back, throws, dropping back with the offensive line collapsing, and incomplete, 3rd and 9. I'd like to welcome Damian Waiters back to the booth.
How you doing, Dan?
Good. I apologize for what I was saying earlier, but you know what? All is forgiven because
all good.
All is forgiven because you're here and my hands are free now.
Absolutely.
So 2:30 left in the third. I'm sorry, in the first quarter. 21-0 Washington Township, though. They're one score away from matching their point total versus Pennsauken last year. They won last year's contest 28-6. The first matchup in recent memory between these two teams, as Negron passes for a second time, just fires it into the ground as he got hit as he throws. Don't think it was enough to call for intentional grounding. I don't think that, I think because he was hit as he threw. No, we do have a flag on the play.
Yeah, flag right there.
Yeah, they will call intentional grounding on Pennsauken. I didn't think that they were going to do it, but they do.
And you know what,
and it's
Dan,
our first penalty of the night.
That call right there, that call, you got to think if the Washington Township is probably looking at officials saying, "Hey, look over there. If he's getting that ball, out of there, and it's not at nobody, and it's been happening before, but it's been ruled an incomplete pass," then they're probably looking at the officials to. Oh, another flag flies.
We've got a second one. Or
just tagged.
I don't know if he just picked it up or.
Yeah, I guess so.
We're all working double duty because the rosters are flying out of this place. We need like anvils to shut this thing down. Pennsauken punts from the back of their own end zone. It'll be returned at the 30. How about this? Is Paris Pratt going to get a punt return touchdown? There's a flag at the end of the play.
And what a great return by Pratt there. He caught the ball in stride. He made that punt look like a line drive right to him. And they gonna say he stepped out of the one.
Yeah, they're gonna say he stepped out of the one, but I believe that there's a penalty flag on the play as well. Might be a block in the back going on here. I thought that was a helmet-to-helmet call maybe, but either way, Washington Township gets called back. So it was a good return, but it is a little bit of a moot point, but it still puts Washington Township 2 yards shy of the red zone on this return. How about that? Again, Township up 21-0 with 2:11 in the first. We saw a drive by Pennsauken that still has not resulted in a first down. And then an intentional grounding call brought Pennsauken all the way back. They had the punt out of the back of their end zone, and they now see a 21-0 deficit with 2:11 in the first.
Yeah, in a quick field on this possession, once again for Washington Township, Pennsauken's really got to hold down and grind out on her defense.
That one is caught, and another one. He got wrestled to the ground hard after he got into the end zone, and that's another touchdown for the Minutemen. Paris Pratt, his second of the night. Colin Beeler's had 2. Paris Pratt has had 2. It's going to be 27-0 in the first quarter. Oh, my goodness. Might just be one of those nights. It might just be one of those nights. Luke Sheets out for his 4th extra point. He's going to continue.
He's got a leg on him.
He's going to continue to hit these into the parking lot. It's incredible. But 3 rushing touchdowns. That was the first receiving touchdown of the night to Paris Pratt. And still with 2 minutes to play in the first quarter, we'll stay on the air. It is 28-0 Washington Township. And folks joining us from home, this has been an interesting predicament for the night so far, as, again, it got started out with Washington Township returning the ball all the way to the 30. A subsequent 1-yard rush by Colin Beeler got the job done. Beeler added on a second rush, and now Paris Pratt has 2 of his own. 2:02 in the first. Washington Township up And yes, that is not fooling you. That is a 28-0 lead. And we thought the Cherry Hill East playoff game from last year was favorable for Washington Township. I mean, this is this is an all-out assault right now in the first quarter.
4 first-quarter touchdowns.
Makes you feel good if you're Washington Township. They're going to have another touchback here. And Pennsauken still in pursuit of a first down. Now, it looks sunny on our side, but if you look, we can't get a good view from behind the press box, but there are some clouds over on the far side that do not look very inviting. And it is forecasted that rain could be coming in as little as 10 minutes. Now, we don't know how intense the rain is going to be, but if the rain gets too intense, we will close up the windows of the press box, which may cause some unwanted glare for the folks watching at home with our cameras. And with this field being turf, shouldn't have to worry too much about conditions beside it being slippery. Being wrestled to the ground that time. Pennsauken able to keep it in play, though, on the reception to the right side. Made by the Indians' number 7, Nathaniel Correa, the junior. Eagles chance at Tom Brown Field. The game doesn't start for another 2 hours. It doesn't start until 8:20 tonight.
Everybody's ready, Dan. Everybody's ready.
Everybody's ready for the Birds. There was a video I saw on NBC 10. There was somebody who lined up at 11 p.m. last night to start tailgating at Lincoln Financial Field. That's what we call the final boss of the unemployed. 2nd and 7. Negron fakes the handoff. It is incomplete. Oh, and some late hits. I don't know if Washington Township saw on the defensive line that the pass was incomplete, but it was to the left side. Minute 12 left to play in the first.
Yeah, Negron is really looking at these screen passes here for Pennsauken, but he has no time. I mean, up front is just that up front, the 4. Looks like Washington Township has a front 4. Yeah, front 4, maybe a front 3. But whoever it is, front 3, front 4, they're getting in the backfield quick here for Washington Township, putting pressure on that Pennsauken offensive line.
It's going to be interesting to see if Pennsauken will be finally able to break through. They're still looking for their first down conversion of the day. Negron, that offensive line, not doing him any favors. Fires it out to the left. Ooh, maybe some pass interference, and the late flag comes in. That's defensive pass interference. Wow. Could see that one clear as day on the Minutemen. I believe that was Paul Dombrowski on the defensive line, or on the defensive back. And now I believe that instead of it being a spot foul, it's just a 15-yard penalty as in high school, compared to the NFL where it's a spot foul and you'll get like 30-some yards. But Negron flew it out to the left, and indeed they will not go all the way up there. Instead, with it being a spot foul, it is an automatic first down, but it looks like it's going to be spotted somewhere around the 35-yard line. Either way, it'll be, at the 38. Still Pennsauken's first down of the night and the first sign of hope at the end of the tunnel for the Indians.
Yeah, that cornerback for Washington Township out far.
Just came in, got a little bit too handsy, and draws the foul.
Dude, that was Para.
Trips formation on the right. Now, they will not hand it off to R.J. Blunt. Instead, it is number 8. No, that was number 8?
Yes.
That was the quarterback, Nazir Negron. So a little bit of trickery there in the final minute. .33 seconds left. They'll have time for maybe one or two more plays in the first quarter. I was going to say it was a very good snap read, but it was too good of a snap read. We're going to have encroachment on the defensive end, number 44, Gabe Pelaginas. And, in fact, with that small gain that Pennsauken had, it is enough for a first down, and they'll keep the clock running with 25 seconds left here at the tail end of the first quarter. So, again, the final score last year was 28-6. We could see that at the end of the first half. And Washington Township in the first quarter alone in tonight's contest has matched it. Pennsauken in the huddle. They will break. They've got 5 seconds left. I guess they're going to try to get one more off. They're not going to have enough time. They do not. So they tried to get a final play at the end of the first quarter. But Washington Township, the floor is yours. At the end of the first quarter, the Minutemen are up by a staggering 28-0. Here from Tom Brown Field. We'll be back in just a moment for the second. One quarter down, 3 to go. Let's take a look at some out-of-town scores from around South Jersey. Eastern leads Ocean City 6-0 in the first. 87-yard pick six. As Negron drops back, he will drive through. He's out to the left side, and he's got plenty of room. He slides to give himself up, and very wisely, Washington Township gives themselves up as well on the defensive side. Negron with a fantastic run out to the 30. And the first man chasing him was number 9, Andrew Osborne. And it is a Pennsauken first down. Their second of the drive.
Yeah, those
or actually their third of the drive.
Those Pennsauken receivers getting far downfield. And if Negron sees nothing downfield that he's able to dot up and get good connection to with his receivers enough time, those D-backs are flaring. They're flying across the field. He's able to use his legs. He's a tall guy, very athletic. And he's going to get out of the backfield as a quarterback. He's going to make some things happen.
And when you're a young guy in high school, it's almost expected that you have some kind of mobility as a quarterback, you know, kind of a two-way threat. But they will hand it off to Blunt, back to the old tried and true. They get it up to the 30 for a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. Some more out-of-town scores as we get them at the end of the first. Low-scoring affair in Cinnaminson. Salem trails Cinnaminson 3-0. And at the end of the first, the consensus number 1 team in South Jersey, Winslow, against Highland. They're up 6-0 at the end of the first quarter. Didn't know how many scores Winslow would get, but they've only gotten 1. Cherokee leads Lenape 7-0 at the start of the second quarter. And not sure what else we have. Not too much action on this Thursday night, but honestly a little bit more than usual. But some low-scoring affairs outside of tonight's game. Tonight has been very much a high-scoring affair as Pennsauken sends a man in motion. It'll be number 7 who gets the rush on the left, gets tackled just in front of the line of scrimmage on 2nd and 8.
It's Correa.
Yeah, that's Nathaniel Correa again on the carry. It'll be 3rd down and 6 as they get 2 more yards. But in this situation, when you're down 28 points, 10 minutes left in the half, 2 yards isn't enough. You need to find some more breakthrough plays. You need to find some more plays that will gas the defense, some more plays that will exhaust the defense. Because if you do, in that case, well, you're going to be in a little bit of a better situation. But you can only go so far on this one drive. If you score and, you know, get a PAT, it's 28-7. And if you do, you still have to give the ball back to Washington Township, who can do their own little, you know, dance and magic with Colaquino and friends on the next drive. 3rd and 6. Negron passes it out to the left side. It is caught. They'll drop the pylon, and it'll be enough for a first down on the catch by Joshua Williams. So Williams gets through, and I believe he was good by about a yard.
It's a great catch there by Williams to get to that pylon. Multiple Washington Township defenders chasing him. Yeah, they're going to give it to him. He had it by about a yard.
And remember, Washington Township, or check that, Nazir Negron of Pennsauken didn't have any passing touchdowns last year. Colaquino, even with his 1,500-yard passing yard season, only had 11. So Nazir Negron not having any passing touchdowns, I think they're going to go with the short game. If they can get R.J. Blunt to break through, that's great. But if that fails, then they'll go to the air for some short gains, as long as it's enough for a first down, but they executed it very well. Oh, that offensive line collapsing fast. They're going to throw it away. And wow, that was a dangerous play because he tried throwing it away, but the ball was batted in the air as he was getting hit and sent to the ground. So that ball, instead of going all the way out on the far sideline, it actually landed in the field of play. And if Washington Township had a little bit of a quicker reaction time, they could have picked that one off very easily. They got very lucky.
Defenders getting back there in the backfield for Township once again. I mean, that defensive front five really putting it together. Those D tackles, those linebackers really getting it together. When they on that blitz, it's almost too much to contain here for Pennsauken.
Well, they've had their best drive yet at the end of the first going into the second. It's been a 3-minute drive in the second quarter. And Clinton Tab will call a timeout, it looks like. So that will be their first of the game as the wind continues to pick up. And again, as we said, Clinton Tab to call his first timeout of the night. 28-0 here at the second quarter in Washington Township. It's been an interesting night so far. But again, it's been a very interesting evening indeed, as this broadcast is brought to you by Rowan College of South Jersey, the premier community college of the Northeast. Visit rcsj.edu for more information on how to get involved as a Roadrunner. And also, this broadcast is brought to you by Harbor Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. If you like those odds, book an appointment today. Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex at 614 Lambs Road in Pittman. That shot actually from the Cooper River in Pennsauken, Cooper River Park, with the boathouse in the background of the shot. 9:15. Timeout called by Pennsauken. It's a very important drive for Pennsauken. It's going to be crucial that they get on the board. And Negron, with a direct snap, he went back into the pocket and then immediately went out of it. And he's going to get up towards around the 15, maybe a little bit further than that. And they will move the stick. So, yeah, by far Pennsauken's best drive of the evening. But it will only go so far if they don't get on the scoreboard. It's a 28-point game. Obviously, right now, this hurts if you're Pennsauken, but a score, something to avoid a shutout, will be, at the very least, welcome. And they'll now try to find a way to get into said end zone in the battle of red, white, and blue for both teams.
Have to get into the end zone here. Trips right, look. See what happens.
He does go to the flat on the right side. Oh, and a late tackle. Second down for Pennsauken if they don't get too far that time.
Yeah, another screenplay there for Pennsauken. Not really sure what they were thinking about right there. Looks like they wanted to get some space, put a playmaker, get him the ball on the wide side of the field. There's more room to work. But again, that Washington Township defense is being an absolute terror.
They have been a force to be reckoned with, and it has forced Washington Township, or rather it has forced Pennsauken to get creative. Because if they don't, they could have just handed the ball off to R.J. Blunt all night. But Washington Township's defense saw right through. And it's now forced Negron to pass more, and it's forced a different offensive scheme for the Indians. Hit as he throws. Snuffed as he throws, as that one was swallowed up by Ethan Binder. It was 2nd and 11. Now it'll be 3rd and 11 after the incompletion.
Yeah, and Binder's watching that drag route the entire time it's happening. He's not watching the quarterback's eyes. He doesn't even know if the quarterback is looking anywhere else. All he knows is that drag route coming across the middle, and as soon as the ball gets there, he's able to jar it out.
7 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second quarter. It's been an interesting game so far, but Washington Township has made it interesting for their home fans. Another trips left formation this time for Pennsauken. Negron drops back. The offensive line holds up, but the pass does not. And it's going to be 4th down. They're in the red zone, but again, a red zone trip doesn't mean anything if there's no points on the board. It's just wasted opportunities. And when you're already down 28, it will mean much more and more that you do not fall into that same trap. Now, of course, Washington Township won't have good field position, but we don't know what they're going to do. We don't know if Colin Beeler is going to break away for 70 yards on the first play if they do not convert here. They converted on their last third down. Now it's 4th and 10. Again, that offensive line just not holding up. QB all by himself. Got hit as he throws, and it'll be incomplete. And Washington Township will take over from their own 13. It's Pennsauken's second turnover on downs of the night.
Pennsauken just looks flustered, especially being in the red zone on that drive. You know, you try to get a trips right, a trips left, an empty look. You know, you got about, what would you say, 15 yards, 17 yards to go, less than 15 yards, excuse me, on that. And you're trying to spread them out wide and get guys going in the passing game. Your receiver's not really able to find anything to do.
Yeah, the receivers certainly have had their hands tied, but the quarterback's also had his hands tied, Nazir Negron, because of this offensive line. Washington Township is just pummeling that offensive line, and it's almost making every pass like a screen pass, where the offensive line gives way and the quarterback is on a ticking timer to get a pass down. You know, they're forcing them into checkdowns.
Yep.
Aquino with a handoff to the left side. He'll get about 6 or 7 yards. He'll get up to the 20. And you can see those not so inviting clouds over our heads that have now traveled in. Again, there was a thick line of rain coming from King of Prussia, Wilmington, Delaware, and it has now basically encompassed the stadium. Second and 4, 6 minutes and change for Cole Aquino and Washington Township. They'll break through. It'll be a first down. And it'll be brought down. Jair Moore on the carry for the Minutemen. It'll be plenty for a first down, Washington Township.
Moore and Beeler on those last 2 carries, just making it look easy as far as run game here for Washington Township. Their offensive line is really controlling the trenches. You know, you get a first down in 2 plays.
1st and 10 from Washington Township, 31. 2 receivers on the left, or rather on the right. A delayed handoff, a tug at the jersey, and a gain of 12. Jair Moore with his 2nd straight carry.
Moore didn't look like he knew what to do there, but Aquino, a flag in the backfield.
We do have a penalty. Holding on the offense, so that will negate the gains that they just had. By the way, we were talking about Winslow and Highland. It was 6-0 at the end of the first. Well, Winslow put the pedal to the metal. They scored 20 points, and it's 26-0 at half. Winslow over Highland.
Life comes at you fast.
Life does come at you fast. It's happened in this game too. Again, both of these teams came off of dominant wins last week, excuse me. Washington Township beat Hillsborough 43-12, and then Pennsauken shut out Camden Catholic 34-0. But tonight has been luckier for one team than the other, as even after the holding call, Washington Township back to the 17-yard line. Wow, they're way back there. 1st and 25. We saw in Paulsboro, Pennsgrove, last game you called, Damian, on Saturday, Paulsboro converted on a 3rd and 29, setting up their final score of the afternoon.
That was crazy.
We've seen some lopsided games this year. Closest one by far was Clayton and Collingswood. So we're hoping that if tonight will not be one of them, that Friday, Barnegat and Manchester Township, and Saturday, Morris Catholic and Gloucester Catholic will be a little bit closer. Trips right for Mike Schatzman, the 8th-year head coach of Washington Township. Aquino.
He wants to go deep.
Look at that offensive line holding up really well. Wow. The defensive back is gone. The wide receiver is gone. They convert on 2nd and 15 after a 15-yard holding penalty. They are all the way up to the 10-yard line on the reception by Anthony Forte, the junior. They have flipped the field, and Washington Township has put this drive, which was originally not looking good, right back into their hands.
Yeah, the defensive back right there on Forte followed him all the way across the field. But as soon as the ball came in, he kind of lost his eyes right there. Forte kept his eyes on the ball the entire time, reeled it in, and he kind of wanted to play the receiver instead of playing the ball. Tried to tackle the receiver almost before the ball even got there. But Forte had different plans, a catch already secured and eyes upfield.
Yeah, no, you're right. He tried to play the receiver before he tried to play the ball, and that's where Pennsauken ran into their mistake there. He ended up falling as Forte made the catch. Now the handoff. Is this touchdown number 5? No, it's going to be short by a yard or two. Rushed by Andrew Osborne. And again, being inside the 10, they dropped the sticks already, but it's going to be 2nd and goal as their last barrier to entry is the blue and red end zone, reading just Township. You got to think that this is going to be an interesting halftime talk for Clinton Tabb, the 17-year head coach for Pennsauken. Up the middle, believe that they're short. Osborne again had the carry on the short field. It's 3rd and goal there at the 1-yard line as Washington Township will look for their second 1-yard rush. We saw Colin Beeler score the first 2. Paris Pratt had the 3rd on a rushing score. Paris Pratt had the 4th on a receiving score. Touchdown Township. They did it again. And that's going to get the clock running at the second half. 34-0. How about it? Washington Township with 5 unanswered touchdowns. And for the first time, we get to see Sheets bank this one through to the other side of this Washington Township Tom Brown field. Aquino to hold. It's up, away, and plenty good. He's 5 for 5. Washington Township, take a bow. They have had a fantastic performance. It is an even 35-0, 2 minutes, 28 seconds in the first half. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Township. We'll have another kickoff return. Wow, that one gets squibbed straight into the ground after 3 kickoffs, or actually 3 touchbacks, excuse me. This might actually work out for them. It's going to get returned by Nathaniel Correa. And the squib kick slows down Pensauken's return long enough where they're going to be trapped inside the 20.
Now, it's on a squib kick, then, you know, the front line, usually on the front line for a kickoff, whatever the kickoff is, they usually tell, let it bounce, let it bounce. Let the faster guys behind you get it. But on a squib kick, that first front 2 lines, you know, you kind of got to make a split-second decision, especially if the ball is rolling or bouncing directly towards you, your position on that kickoff return. You're going to get on it, you're going to let it bounce, and if you let it bounce, you better block the person that's coming to find it.
So at the start of the second half, with this being a 35-point game, we will have a running clock. Again, the rule that was initiated 2 years ago was that once it hits 34, the margin of score will be 34, then the running clock will be for the entire second half if that score is achieved before halftime. And in that situation, that clock will not be reverted. Even it used to be a smaller threshold. I believe Pennsauken had that timeout that time. That'll be their second of the day, but all things considered, it used to be, I believe, 24 points was the margin, and then if the team got back to a smaller to a smaller deficit, then they would stop the running clock. In this case, it's now 34, and the clock runs no matter what. So Pennsauken, going into the second half, will now be on an even higher urgency to get points on the board going into the second half. As, again, they'll have another drive inside the 20. It's been a rough night, and you can already just feel the emotions changing here. And I don't know if it doesn't help that I'm seeing this cloud over my head that looks like Zeus himself is going to wreak havoc on this game. But right now what we're looking at, for those curious, says rain is forecasted for the next hour. There's right now a 100% chance of rain. I don't know if I don't feel anything.
Doesn't look.
Did you hear that? Washington Township starting the Start the Buses chant with 2 minutes left in the first half. That might be a new record.
Wow.
They are confident. And Nazir Negron and Pennsauken will look to prove them wrong. They'll get past the line of scrimmage on a QB scramble, and he will take himself out of bounds right around the 29-yard line. Should be good for about 8 or 9 yards. Still will be short of the first, but they do stop the clock, which will be positive for Pennsauken, looking to get. Here's the thing, though. I'll have to check. I mean, right now the score is 35. I don't know if going at the halftime break, if Pennsauken scores and makes it a 28-point game, if the running clock is negated.
That would be interesting to know.
We're going to have to ask upstairs, because that's something that we never had, where a team, led by a whole lot, and then a team got another score before the halftime break. So we will have to see what happens for Washington Township in their 13th Dan Wilkins Broadcasting appearance. A 5-7 record on our network. R.J. Blunt on the carry, the Temple commit. Believe he's going to get right back to the line of scrimmage, and no, they do say that it is the first down as we reach 2 minutes in the half. But, of course, we talk about coaches from South Jersey and coaches from the area recruiting locally. Obviously, Fran Brown, he's head coach at Syracuse.
Fran.
He's a South Jersey guy, and he's been recruiting from South Jersey. How about the kid from Burlington City, one of the fastest?
Yes.
I forget his name. I keep forgetting his name.
We're both catching up.
We're both catching a blank, but he's a Burlington City grad who is one of the fastest defensive backs, I believe, in all of college football. But him and Casey Keeler, I think the expectation was when Casey Keeler came back to Temple was, recruit locally. There's some fantastic talent in South Jersey football, and we're seeing that on display tonight as R.J. Blunt gets tripped up around the 45-yard line. That was his best individual run yet. Gets them across the 50, gives them a little bit of a spark.
Blunt taking that
42,
handoff
42.
far side. He has got to put it on, especially in the second half. If Pennsauken wants any chance at coming back, obviously he can get a score right here. He's a very good back, very fast. But he needs that Pennsauken offensive line to really, really lock down and really get a guy on a guy, really put some hands on guys. I mean, blocking has been a little scarce for this Pennsauken offense in first half.
Yeah, and that's where I think the run game can really break through, because when they have passed, Washington Township's defensive line has just bulldozed through. And if Pennsauken can't get either the run or the pass game to work, well, you've got no hands, you've got no cards at the table to work with. They do hand it off to Blunt. This will get wrapped up at the line of scrimmage right on midfield, right on top of the WT logo at the 50. They'll have a minute left. Right now, just hit the 1 minute mark here at Tom Brown Field. The worst of the rain, for those curious, is expected to come around 7:20. As Negron in trouble. He looks for a man downfield. He does fire. Incomplete. As they tried to find the best scenario possible. And it'll now be 3rd and 9, 43 seconds left on the clock in the second quarter.
Negron is not able to live in the pocket this first half for this Pennsauken offense. That defensive line for Washington Township, I mentioned them once again, but they keep coming. No matter what the situation is, no matter what the score is, they're going to keep coming at you. And Pennsauken right now, that front five on offense, they're on their heels.
Again, 43 seconds left in the first half. Stay tuned for our DWB halftime presentation, DWB Archive through the years, where we take a look at the best of the best from DWB's 4-year history from 2021 all the way to 2025. And then stay tuned with about 5 minutes left in the halftime break for the Dan Wilkins Broadcasting halftime show presented by Gray Fox Sports, where we talk about what has happened in the first 24 minutes and what is to come in the next 24 minutes. Again, here from the press box at Tom Brown Field, big thanks to Kevin Murphy and Mike Schatzman, athletic director and head coach, respectively, of Washington Township, for having us out as Negron drops back. Chased by Palagnis. Wrestled out of bounds.
Is that a catch?
I think so. Referees are going to signal it's a catch, but it's still short of a first. They'll make some progress on it, though. They'll get around to the 44, 45-yard line if that is indeed a catch. And they do say it is a catch.
Yeah, that looked good, but
just couldn't tell from how far away we are in the press box.
Not at all. That almost looked picked off. That Washington Township defender, not sure who that was, but he was right there in coverage. It looked like number 8 Paris Pratt.
And a very good QB chase by Gabe Palagnis that time, rolling out to the right.
Palagnis, number 44, putting the
pressure on. Yeah.
Absolute pressure right now.
And that's exactly what Washington Township needs. Keep applying the pressure. 4th and mid-range. Oh, fumble. Snap is botched. He lets it fly far away, and that one almost headed to the baseball field. So Washington Township will get another turnover on downs. It is the 3rd by Pensauken's offense, and they had some signs of life. R.J. Blunt had a 30-yard rush to the right side, and with 30 seconds left in the first half, would be assumed that maybe Aquino takes a knee or maybe gets 1 yard or one play, that is, and then maybe you set it down. But it's 26.3 seconds left. It's been a tumultuous first half, and it's been one to remember for Washington Township. It's been one to forget for Pennsauken, and 24 more minutes will decide this thing here from Tom Brown Field, again with some rain on the way, expected to hit at the start of the 3rd quarter. Again, it's expected to really start around 7:20 p.m. They'll go back. They are in kneel formation, and they do take a knee. How about domination? How about celebration? And how about a first half for Washington Township? They score 5 touchdowns, 4 rushing, 1 receiving, 2 from Colin Beeler, 2 from Paris Pratt, and Washington Township leading a staggering 35-0 at the end of the first half. They've scored more in the first half than they did in all of last year's contest versus Pennsauken, with the final score being 28-6. What's interesting to me, both teams meeting on the field instead of going back to the locker room.
Oh.
I haven't seen this before, or at least not in a long time.
No, not
I'm curious if maybe there's an issue with the locker room or if this is just what they're choosing to do, but usually both teams make a scramble for the locker room. I haven't seen in a long time 2 teams meeting on the field. But 35-0 at the end of the first half. We'll keep an eye on the weather. We'll keep an eye on everything going on around South Jersey on this Thursday night, September 4th. It's a windy one. It's getting a little bit chilly up here at Tom Brown Field. I'm Dan Wilkins with Damian Waiters. We'll be back in just a moment. Jersey is the number 2 seed. As we said, they beat Manville 19-0 in the first round, which was even larger than Audubon's 16-0 win over Paulsboro as the 1 seed in the first round. That one's hit out towards center field, straight away. Oh, she misjudged it. Got over her head in center field. Now this one's got a chance to be 3 bases for Spire. She's flying around third. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is not in time. What a way to kick off a semifinal with an inside the park home run. Emma Spire, who will take her talents to the Great Danes after 2026, lights up the scoreboard with a fly ball that got misjudged in center field.
Jack Mastero, 2 for 3 with a strikeout, a double, and a single. Looking to play hero. He's going to line this one into right center field, and that's going to drop. That's going to do it if they don't get a throw down. Mastero's going to second, and Danza's coming home. Sectional champions, Gloucester Catholic. They do it in a walk-off fashion as GC with Mastero playing hero. An unbelievable
Ryan Nutley, who has 3 RBIs so far, is up on deck as here's a fly ball to center field, going back to the wall. It is gone! 3-run home run, Steve Schaefer. He rockets one out, and it's 9-2. First home run for Schaefer this year, the second hit at home by a Scarlet Raptor. Donning the number 34 and the shortstop for this one. First pitch. There's a line drive into center field. That one is going to drop, and it's going to go to the outfield wall. 1 run will score. Spence is going to make a huge arc around third. She will score to make it 3-0. And here comes the runner to score. It's an inside the park home run for Ella Hayes to make it a 4-0 game, a 3-run inside the Parker to the 2. Two minutes remaining. 4 fouls on St. Joe's. 1 more and it's a bonus, which would greatly help Gloucester Catholic. The moving 3-yard! It's a 1-point game just like that! This place is going nuts! And now a drive to the basket by Spross. He lays it up and lays it in! St. Joe's has 2 timeouts remaining. Gloucester Catholic still has 3. Here we go. Mastero pulls up. He goes to 3! 6 points! Jack Mastero has tied the game with 90 seconds remaining. How will the Wildcats respond with a miss?
And Argabright with a full count. Outfielders in communication for the Quakers. Everyone's looking around in a tie game, bottom of the 6th. The 3-2 payoff. Ground ball. It's going to get over the head of Tolbert into left field. 2-run score. Argabright delivers when asked. 5-3. Alex Argabright has given the Golden Eagles a 5-3 lead in the bottom of the 6th inning.
One 1-0 Red Bank. Now here is Al D'Elia.
The man they used to call Big Al has now slimmed down, and he still hits dingers. He went viral in 2018 for his catchphrase during the Little League World Series when he was introduced by the ESPN camera crews and was given his standard introduction. He said, "Hi, my name's Big Al, and I hit dingers." And that sentiment still holds true today. He had his first career high school home run versus Rumson Fairhaven in their opening game of the campaign last week. There's a swing and a miss, 0-2. But D'Elia, kind of a folk hero for baseball players who just want to hit the ball far and have fun while doing it. The poster child now is the poster big fella. Fly ball right center field. This is going to be a sac fly. Taken in by Terranova, and Big Al might not hit dingers, but he certainly drives in runs. It's 2-0.
Welcome back here from Tom Brown Field. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Damian Waiters. At the end of the first half, it has been all Washington Township. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it has been a fantastically near perfect game for Washington Township. They've had 5 drives. They've had 5 touchdowns. They have not failed on any single one of them. And they now enter this second half in an interesting predicament because they're going to have a running clock, but the pressure isn't off. I mean, it's not like Pennsauken is a talentless team. They are talented. They have R.J. Blunt at the running back. He rushed for 1,500 rushing yards last year. He was a fantastic running back, and again, committed to Temple. He didn't do that out of nowhere. He didn't do that with no merit. So with Pennsauken right now, backs against the wall, you know, everything's kind of in a rut right now. Doesn't mean that Washington Township is out of the neck of the woods. They still have a good chance, still have a great chance of winning, but the question is by how much and if they're going to do anything else in the second half. First of all, though, 2 rushing touchdowns from Colin Beeler, 2 from Paris Pratt, 1 receiving and 1 rushing. And then I believe that last touchdown was scored by Andrew Osborne to get in. So 3 players have contributed to Washington Township 35 points so far tonight.
Yes, and if you're Pennsauken right now, on defensively, you've got to get off your heels. You have to stay off your heels, I mean. Washington Township, their offense is finding multiple ways to score, finding ways to score through the air, on the ground with receivers and running backs, both ways. So you really have to anchor down that defensive line. Really has to start getting a push on that O-line for Pennsauken, and they just have to put it together here in the second half. Obviously, offensively, Nazir Negron, R.J. Blunt, the Temple commit, like you said, he didn't do that out of nowhere. Casey Keeler got another good back, and he's had a good game. But it doesn't show because most people only are looking at the score. But if you look at the field, they're looking to him. He's one of their number 1 options, if not their number 1 option. And I believe it's not going to change from the second half.
And he's had a couple of good breakaways tonight. But I think the big thing for Washington Township is how little Cole Aquino's needed to go to the air. He's had 1 field flipping play on the reception all night because his running backs and his rushers have done the rest of that work for him. Yeah. Cole Aquino, again, as far as we're concerned, an uncommitted senior quarterback. He has been a fantastic guy. And, again, you know, Washington Township has two key players, both Washington Township and Pennsauken have a key player who got over 1,500 yards and something. Cole Aquino, 1,500 passing yards. R.J. Blunt, 1,500 rushing yards. It was supposed to all come to a head tonight, but 28-0 at the end of the first, 35-0 at the end of the half. It's been a weird game. Pennsauken lining up at their own end zone to get those, what are they called? Those little high knees going on.
Yes.
Yeah, the old thing that I used to do in gym class before I put on all of this. But either way, we've got a triple header tonight for those not aware. We travel down to Manchester Township. He's going to be on the production tomorrow night between Barnegat and Manchester Township. We will be starting the broadcast at 5:30. There's a pregame ceremony going on honoring Mike Lister, who will be retiring as Manchester's athletic director after 38 years. And then on Saturday, we go to Gloucester Catholic, 11 a.m., between Morris Catholic and the Gloucester Catholic Rams from J.A. Lynch Field in Gloucester City with an 11 a.m. start time. Referees are on the field. Both teams are ready to go, and we've got a second half kickoff and 24 running minutes of football here in the WJFL coming up right after this. Third quarter from Washington Township. It is 35-0. Hasn't been the best of nights for Pennsauken. It couldn't be a better night for Washington Township as we're back underway. Oh, kickoff is muffed. And a big hit in the backfield.
This drive starts for Pennsauken deep in their own territory. So a big hit as the kickoff got muffed. Pensauken's going to start their first drive of the second half all the way back at the 10. There is some light rainfall coming down. Now that if we were playing on natural grass, definitely wouldn't definitely would be a little bit more of the field conditions changing, but it's honestly not even raining that hard. Just the clouds look very ominous.
Yes,
and
they do.
we only had one game that was played in the rain during all of football season, and that was the Thanksgiving game, Gloucester Catholic and Gloucester. That was the only one because we had that bad drought in September and October last year.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, he got
that
hit.
Ball came out.
Ball did come out.
It recovered in the end zone.
Oh, my goodness, they recovered it in the end zone. Washington Township just got a defensive touchdown. Are you kidding me? 41-0. And Washington Township is here to stay as a minute and 15 seconds into the third quarter. That ball, again, got recovered in the end zone. That is unbelievable.
And Negron was running near side there on that play, looking for something downfield just along the sideline, but what he didn't see is his backside pressure. At backside left tackle, and it looked like number 44, I believe that was.
Oh, they're going to air this one out to the back of the end zone, and it's incomplete. I'm not sure if, Aquino was back there. Was that faked or was the snap muffed? I was expecting a regular extra point, but it is no good. And again, the running clock will begin. So that's what we've got. 10:47 left in the third. I'm going to have to. We didn't get the replay, so I'm going to have to save this on my phone. Or I'm going to have to look at it on my phone, see what happened here prior to that. Question is, was that? Oh, you know what? The snap was muffed. The snap was really high, so Aquino had no choice but to just air it out and at least have some chance at getting points. Kickoff by the, I almost said the Senators. That's our Summer League team, the Minutemen. That's our third touchback of the night as well. So Pennsauken takes over again. Clock is running, and it will run for the rest of the night with a 41-0 lead.
Yeah, the clock running won't go anywhere. It'll be on and going for the rest of this one.
Even if Pennsauken gets some scores, we're basically right back to where they started. They started their last drive on the 10. 2 plays later, Township back in the end zone on a defensive score. Now they're at the 20 after a touchback, the third, by Township's kicker, Luke Sheets. Blunt finding some space. He'll get up to, and a very late flag. Flag came in after the whistle.
Now, Dan, I wonder if they're going to go helmet to helmet on this flag here. Yeah.
Maybe. Not sure, but with the rain, some photographers coming inside to take cover. That equipment is very expensive, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, yes it is. 100%.
Just like this broadcast equipment is very expensive. I'm keeping an eye on the weather here. It's been very windy today. It's almost felt like whatever the penalty is, it was against Washington Township. As you were saying, it might have been a helmet-to-helmet personal foul, but they'll line this one back up at the 44-yard line. 43, rather. Blunt, handoff.
The counter work.
That jersey with some fantastic hold, somehow not getting ripped to pieces there on the fabric. That'll be a loss. Some Washington Township students getting an early start on their ride home. They really went all in with the red body paint. There was a hole when I was outside of the men's room before the game started, and there was a crushed can of red body paint all over the floor, and it was all over the sinks, and I'm thinking to myself,
That's what I saw.
Yeah. No. Somebody
Oh
did not
my
have a
goodness.
nosebleed in there. It was a crushed can or a crushed bottle of red body paint. Rain really starting to come down actually here. If we take a look at the light tower, you'll really be able to see the extent of the rain. And of course, this being on a turf field, the only thing it'll do is really make it slippery, which, I mean, it doesn't do too much given the outcome of this game right now, but it'll be interesting to see how it is going forward. I mean, listen, Washington Township, they have one of the most passionate fan bases in all of South Jersey, one of the most passionate student sections in all of South Jersey. Like I said, I have some friends of mine who went to Washington Township. In fact, I'm actually in a English composition class with one of my buddies from Washington Township who graduated 2 years ago. But it's a massive school. As this ball is fumbled, ball gets away, and I think Washington Township just picked that one back up. It is recovered by Ethan Binder, who picks up his second fumble recovery of the night, and Washington Township is putting it on.
Binder is everywhere on this defense. Multiple tackles for this Washington Township defense in the linebacker, outside linebacker position, and 2 fumble recoveries. He's everywhere. He's in the backfield. He's making tackles, making plays. He's one of the true heart and souls out of many, it looks like, for this Washington Township defense.
Again, the Minutemen and the Pennsauken Indians both coming off of fantastic Week 1 dominant wins.
Yes.
Pennsauken beating Camden Catholic 34-0 in the revival of one of South Jersey's most famed rivalries. 1st and 10.
He's
Hand
looking
off.
deep.
Or excuse me, the pass to the left side. Didn't catch where that ball was that time. It's incomplete.
And Dan, number 8, Paris Pratt, he wasn't looking for that football. He wasn't looking for that football. Aquino was looking towards the end zone, and that's one-on-one coverage, no safety in help, corner pylon. Pratt as an athlete and who he is, I watched him a lot of times in the Washington Township beautiful season that they had last year. He's able to go up and get that ball.
Indeed. So the reception to the left, incomplete. Second and 10. Aquino back in the shotgun. He's in the I formation.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
and that ball is fumbled. Again, so the rain must be coming down on the field harder than we thought. It's hard to tell because of the darkness, and I can really only get a gauge at how hard the rain is falling by looking at the lights, the light towers.
Yeah.
Because with grass, you can see how muddy it gets. With a turf field, you don't get any of that.
Not at all, no.
It looks shinier, I'll tell you that. There's like a little bit of a gloss on the field. That might be the only way that you can tell that it's raining. And, of course, the water droplets on the window that the viewers at home cannot see. Aquino with a tough pass. It is caught left side. That might get them back into red zone territories. The pass is caught by Jake Weiser with 4.5 minutes in the third quarter.
Yeah, that ball by Aquino on that screen pass kind of hung up in the air for a little bit, but a great job by Weiser to get it into his chest, to tuck it, and to get upfield. Able to turn something that potentially could have been really bad, but you just gotta wonder what's really bad when you're up 41-0.
Turned nothing into something that time. Really found a way to get at least some yardage, and it is back to 4th and 6.
Absolutely.
Most shocking thing is that Washington Township's going for it. The rush to the right by Colin Beeler. It will get them up to around the 16, and that will be a turnover on down. So it is Washington Township's first drive tonight that has not resulted in a touchdown. Sounds crazy to say, but that's how good they've been tonight. That is their first turnover on downs, and now Washington Township surrenders to Pennsauken, and the Indians with Clinton Tabb and Nazir Negron and, of course, R.J. Blunt will take over at their own 18-yard line.
Yeah, 1st and 10, Pennsauken right here. And, for Negron, Carrera, Blunt, R.J. Blunt, You know, you gotta drive the field, put some points on the board. Want to make this one a little bit more respectable.
Yeah, you don't listen. I tell people this all the time. The only thing that 90% of football fans look at, especially at the high school level, is the final score.
Yes.
And if you look at the scoreboard from tonight and it says 41-0 the final, well, they're going to think that Pennsauken got the bells whipped off. But if it's 41-14, 41-20, we had a game last year. We didn't cover it, but we had some folks reporting on it where Gateway and Wildwood were playing. Gateway was up 42-0 at the half. It was incredible. And the final score, though, was 42-28. They gave up 4 scores, but it looked a lot closer than it was, yes, even though Wildwood never really had a fighting chance at all that night.
Yes.
So a lot of people are going to look at the final score, but again, Pennsauken, they've kind of already dug their hole in this one with the running clock. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left in the third. Tackle made on that play by number 47, Jackson Siebert. And again, with a staggering 41-point lead, it's not going to get any easier for Pennsauken to advance the ball.
Not at all.
Although they did get a little bit of something handed to them with Township failing to convert, again, for the first time at all tonight. First time at any juncture that Washington Township's drive did not end with a score. It's 3rd and 7.
Negron in the shotgun look here. Really wonder.
Negron to the left, he gets dropped. Man, you can really see how heavy that rain is now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I really wonder how much it's affecting the snap. You know, the ball.
You got to imagine they're just not going to make any progress here.
Yeah.
Because of how bad it is. Yeah, when the rain is bad enough to where you can see it on the camera, that is a telltale sign that
absolutely
it's coming down hard. Pennsauken will be back to punt. Under a minute to play in the third. Oh, look at the snap jump. The punt almost got blocked.
Really blocked, yes.
It might have affected it somehow. Even if he didn't directly block it, it's picked up by Pensauken's number 32. And on that play, that man will be specifically Cade Conover. Let's take a quick break as Pennsauken will turn the ball over, and we're going to let the clock run. They're going to, I think they're, actually, no, we'll stay on the air for a second until the end of the fourth.
If you saw that punter right there for Pennsauken, he put a leg. I believe that may have also been the quarterback, number 8, Nazir.
Yeah, Nazir Negron's been back to punt a few times tonight.
He put a leg into that punt, and this wind and rain took it from where it would have landed probably a little bit in the Washington Township's half and took it back towards Pensauken's half and kind of helped Washington Township out as far as ball placement and and yardage. It's just not going. It's not going the way as we come to the end of the third quarter. It's not going Pensauken's way.
No, that punt brought him back to around the 40-yard line as at the end of the third, the cowbells are ringing, and Washington Township, this game is 12 minutes away from being theirs and 12 minutes away from a 2-0 start to 2025. Rain's coming down hard here at Tom Brown Field, and you can definitely see it. 41-0 after 3. Please excuse us. We just had a quick technical glitch. It is the fourth quarter, and the clock continues to run. And we'll reset the score accordingly. It is 41-0 Washington Township. It's been a fantastic night for the Minutemen as they continue to pour it on. The first drive of the second half saw a defensive touchdown. Oh, that is muffed. Washington Township recovers back at the 48. So yeah, clock will continue to run. Again, with the running clock being initiated at the start of the second half because of the 34-point lead that the Minutemen had, and the one that they've continued to hold on to. There's the spot right at the 48. Township right in front of us with a 41-point lead. Believe that's a new quarterback in the game. I do not believe that is Cole Aquino, and indeed it is a backup, and they've got all the backups in, and the backups are still pushing the ball along. It was 3rd and 17 after the muff snap. It's going to be 4th and short after the handoff from backup quarterback number 17, Danny Carter, the sophomore, to the backup running back, Elijah Cole, the sophomore.
Sophomore, second group is entering into the game here for Washington Township, and they're gonna put on the show and to see why they should be in the starting role.
Yeah, this is almost like an audition if you're Washington Township.
Absolutely.
This is a way for, your coaches to see what you're made of, to see what you're capable of doing. Because if you're not, then you're not going to start when it matters most. When it doesn't matter as much right now, Mike Schatzman and their crew, they can experiment a little bit. The backups, this is a future of what's to come. Good contact there on the right side on the rush to number 29 for the Senator. I keep saying for the Senators, for the Minutemen. It's Giovanni Gaffredo. But you talk about a sophomore duo that time, Danny Carter and Elijah Cole. Those are class of 2028 kids. Possibility that you could see those two starting once Cole Aquino graduates after this year. Pennsauken does take over. They were well short of a first. And again, they're not even really jockeying for a first down right now. They are just figuring out the best course of action and going from there. So it will be interesting to see.
Yeah, it looks like Pennsauken also is gonna give their. It looks like Pennsauken is also gonna give their second team some burn. So we're gonna see some younger guys. Gonna see some younger guys.
And this is the benefit. There isn't too many benefits of having a game be a blowout like this, but a benefit that comes to mind is that both teams can now be prepared for when graduation hits in June. They can now say, okay, when we go into let's say the 2027 season, both of these teams have starting running backs and quarterbacks that are seniors.
Yep.
So they're going to need new game plans in 2027, or I'm sorry, in 2026. Keep forgetting what year it is, but when we talk about what it means to be prepared for the future, that's exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about what these coaches are looking for outside of training camp. They want to see what you're made of on the game field. Again, it's like a live audition, more or less. Some penalties, a false start, and a shove after the play. The rush was supposed to be made by Deshaun Lassiter, a junior. But Negron is a junior, so the quarterback will be around for 2026.
Okay.
But R.J. Blunt, the Collingswood transfer, who is a resident of Pennsauken, but transferred back home for his junior year, rushed for nearly 1,500 yards, over 1,500 yards in his junior year, looking to capitalize on that this year.
Cole Aquino, number 1, the starting.
The pitch back, it's high.
Some Washington Township might fall on that one.
Oh my goodness, did they fall on it again?
I don't know.
That was a very high pitch back.
Township players
by the
are saying
backup
that
quarterback Thomas Zimmerman.
Washington Township saying that they have the ball, and yes, they do. It's Washington Township football.
Oh my goodness.
Already deep in Pennsauken territory. Backups head out onto the field. Some of the younger guys looking to put another touchdown on the board here for Township.
So Washington Township takes over with 6 minutes remaining. We're halfway through the fourth quarter. Don't forget, we've got 2 more games lined up for Dan Wilkins Broadcasting this weekend. We traveled down the shore for a second time to see the Barnegat Bengals and the Manchester Township Hawks at 6 p.m. on Friday, September 5th. And then we see Morris Catholic and Gloucester Catholic on Saturday, September 6th, 11 a.m. kickoff from Gloucester City. We debut our first high school soccer game of the year with Northern Burlington and Delran on Monday, September 8th. 3:45 p.m. is the start time for those two. Backup QB again in the game for Washington Township, running that one up the middle. Dog pile on top of the play that time, and they'll stop him right around the line of scrimmage. But man, look how fierce that rain is. It's not strong enough to delay anything because there's no lightning.
No, no.
Remember, there's you play through. You just like they say in golf, you play it where it lies. And in this case, you play through. We only had, again, one rainy game all last season, and that was Gloucester Catholic versus Gloucester City Thanksgiving. That game itself was a bit of a blowout. It was 28-0. But GC, we're going to see them on Saturday versus a team that they lost to by just 3 points last year, Morris Catholic. The Crusaders up north.
That should be a great one.
Should be a good one indeed. 2 parochial teams as handoff left side. He'll break through and hit a couple of times before getting sent down. The rush by number 36, Elijah Cole, the sophomore. So again, high school soccer debuts for us on Monday, Northern Burlington versus Delran. And I don't think we have anything else. We do have 2 RCSJ games on Tuesday and Wednesday. So we will find ourselves, if my spreadsheet will load, I apologize for not knowing this off the cuff. We'll be covering 2 RCSJ games on Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll be seeing men's soccer, Harrisburg Hawks versus RCSJ Gloucester on the 9th, and then Georgian Court Lions JV, the Division II NCAA institution. They're sending their reserves for women's soccer on Wednesday, September 10th. 3 minutes, 40 seconds.
Handoff up the middle that time. If I can get the number, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it.
Not with this wind.
No, not at all.
They don't want you to see the number. Oh my goodness! I mean I'm afraid the staples are going to rip off that paper. That's how fierce the wind is.
Absolutely, but that was number 46 on that carry. That doesn't look to be listed as a number, but I'm sure another great upcoming sophomore, junior, freshman for the Washington Township team. A beautiful run there.
It's going to be 4th and 9 from the 23. 3 minutes left in the game. Up the middle. Doesn't get very far on that one, and it's going to be another turnover on down. So, I mean, this is kind of what some people thought would happen. Township would get in front early, and the shocking thing is only 1 score in all of the second half. Township has refused to run up the score, which I'll give them heaps of credit for, that they did not do that. Sometimes I think we see some football teams try to get in other teams' heads, but listen, at the end of the day, it's another day at the office. Pennsauken will have their home opener next week, and when we talk about what it means to be coming back from a loss this large, they're going to have to put everything on the line next week in their home opener Thursday, September the 11th versus Highland. And then they trade off home and away. Highland on the 11th, Vineland on the 19th, Eastern on the 27th, and then Camden Eastside on the 4th.
Yeah, for Pennsauken, this is a great team with a lot of growing to. You had some pains tonight. You know, went against a team who went deep into the playoffs last year, very, very deep. A great team, graduated some guys, but for Pennsauken, you know, you've had a lot of good years. Just trying to put it together. Fielded some pretty good teams. It's not going to be the easiest schedule, but nonetheless, you'll be able to get it back in no time.
Indeed. And again, with Highland also facing a tough opponent in Winslow tonight, they were down 26-0 at the half at last check. We've got a flag on the play. It's going to be against Township. And again, you do see a little bit more of mistake-ridden play with the backups in. But this is good for the kids because, listen,
Absolutely.
There are not a lot of there are some of these kids that the only football experience they will have will be coming off of the bench. So to give everybody a playing opportunity is always welcome. Handoff up the middle by Pennsauken doesn't go too far, and we are already that running clock sneaks up on you fast.
Yes, it does.
It's 7:46. Kickoff was at 6:02. We're gonna get this game in under 2 hours. So as everybody prepares to head out for the night, Tom Brown Field, the student section is mostly emptied out. The rain being the reason why. The rain has been coming down pretty much all of the second half. And we'll have one more play for Pennsauken, 3rd and 2nd. They might try to get one more play in, but the game being out of reach, they'll send this one up the middle, no cigar that time. 4th and short, and Washington Township, who scored 43 points versus Hillsborough on Friday in the season opener versus the Red Raiders, they just put up another one, 41. Washington Township, dominant. Winners over Pennsauken. They let up 6 points last year when they played at Pennsauken. They wanted to make it right when they were at home. And for Township's home opener, they leave a goose egg on the scoreboard for Clinton Tabb and the Pennsauken Indians. What a night for Washington Township. Really a team effort. Nobody really stood out to me because everybody stood out. Colin Beeler scored twice. Paris Pratt scored twice. Another Township runner scored once, and then defense scored. Everybody gets to score if you're Washington Township.
Absolutely.
It was a great night for the Minutemen. It's only going to get better for Washington Township, who, again, retained a lot of their core from last year, including, most importantly, your running back and your quarterback, Cole Aquino, who didn't really show out that much tonight, but he didn't really have to. He didn't need to show out that much because you know what? He was doing so well, and his defense, or rather his offensive line was holding him up. His runners got into the end zone so fast that he was never in a bad enough situation to where you needed to find yourself passing a lot. He only attempted, I think, 5 or 6 passes. I'm kind of guessing here, but he only attempted 5 or 6 passes the whole night. And that's something that Washington Township can hold their head high on because they do not need much to succeed, and that's exactly what they did tonight. 41-0 the final. Pennsauken 0, Washington Township 41. Damian, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, for Cole Aquino, Dan, a great quarterback, like you said, uncommitted, and don't know where he's going, senior at that, which, at this point
could be anywhere.
Could be anywhere. College, turn on the tape, go get that kid. Over 1,500 yards passing last year. Probably not going to be far off for his senior campaign. Didn't have to do, but like you said, didn't have to do a lot tonight. But you know who really, really did put it on? Number 8, Paris Pratt.
Indeed.
Scoring through the air, scoring on the ground. He was one of the players that really needed to be there for the Minutemen, as well as their running back, Colin Beeler.
Yeah, Beeler, he might be the player of the game for the fact that he put this game in motion, got the gears turning. He got those first 2 scores pretty easily, had a 20-yard breakaway for the second touchdown, and then after that, the rest was history. It was 28-0 at the end of the first quarter, 35-0 at the half, and then one more score in the third quarter ended the night in what was a dominant win for Washington Township. A shutout at home on your home opener night in one of the biggest crowds we've seen so far this year on DWB. It's a fantastic sight, and I'm sure Washington Township will be going home very happy at the end of this, going into their Week 2 game, I believe. I'm going to have to check who they've got. But they've got, listen, Pennsauken's got Highland next week. They're right now struggling versus Winslow. I believe they lost that game. I'm not sure if they got shut out. But Pennsauken and Highland next week might actually be interesting because it's 2 teams looking to reset. Sometimes when you have that momentum where both teams are winning,
yes,
sometimes it gets to the head of one and then it doesn't to the other, and then one goes ahead. I'm not saying that last week's win over Camden Catholic was in Pennsauken's head, but it's 2 different game plans when you're playing Camden Catholic versus when you're playing a 10-3 Washington Township. It's never easy to get in that mindset. And with Pennsauken next week, they could be facing a Highland team who, hey, they go to the handshake line and say, hey, our opponent was tough last week too. This is how we're going to play the game. So for Washington Township, though, they were just off the rails early.
Yeah,
They didn't run into any penalties, not many at least. They didn't make many mistakes. And if you can have a game where you're efficient on all ends of the ball and not make a lot of mistakes, if you don't win the game, that's on you. I mean, that was how good Washington Township was tonight.
Yeah, and for Pennsauken, I mean, where their problems really started to come in, it looked as if the offensive line really couldn't, when they're pass blocking and the pass plays, you know, Pennsauken, they did try to throw the ball, they did try to air the ball out a lot tonight on those pass plays. The offensive line just looked like they were on those heels. Number 8, Nazir Negron, just absolutely running all over. He couldn't live in the pocket tonight, Dan. He couldn't be in the pocket tonight. Just sideline to sideline, looking downfield, trying to get the ball in the receiver's hands, not able to do it.
And that's one of the biggest issues that Pennsauken ran into all night, was that their offensive line did not hold up. Washington Township barreled through on almost every pass attempt Nazir Negron made, and we were saying that every pass attempt he was making was basically like a screenplay, because the offensive line only lasted for the amount of time where he could find a receiver to check down. He couldn't air the ball out long. He really didn't at all last year. But we're not talking about Clayton, where they're attempting 25 passes a year. They're doing a little bit more than that, but still, they're not passing for that much. They're only passing for a little bit every night, and it changes up your dynamic when you go into the game. Washington Township, one of their biggest wins that I noticed in the first quarter was that they shut down R.J. Blunt. I hate to switch sports sometimes, but we talked about there was a basketball game back in February. I think you were there for it. It was your first. It was Woodbury and Pittman.
Yes.
And Woodbury won that game as the lower seed because they shut down the master. They shut down Elijah Crispin. They double guarded him on every play. I saw shades of that out of Washington Township, where their defensive line basically singled out R.J. Blunt, and they kind of figured out the game plan. Yeah, they're going to run it to Blunt every time. Maybe not every time, but 80% of the plays were going to go to R.J. Blunt. So they forced Pennsauken to diversify their offense. They had to pass a little bit more. They had to try passing on a scramble. They had to run some QB rushes with Nazir Negron. They put them on their toes like that, and when they did, they were already up by 1 or 2 scores. So by the time Pennsauken realized it, it was too late. Washington Township shut the door behind them, and they were off sprinting. That's how it was.
Yeah, and Dan, I really think you hit it on the head. I mean, you kind of almost think, you know, R.J. Blunt, a very, very talented, a very, very gifted rusher. You kind of almost think coming into this one, Pennsauken, their game plan was we're gonna give the ball to Blunt. We're gonna let him do what he can do, get those yards, kind of set up the tone for this game. But like you said, Washington Township defense, they force you to switch it up. Whatever you come into the game thinking, whatever you come into the game thinking that you're going to do, they force you to switch it up. And that defense is really, really, really dangerous.
Well, I'll tell you this, for Washington Township, they went 10-3 last year, had a very good playoff run. They're going to be looking to do that again in South Jersey Group 5 in 2025.
Absolutely.
That'll be all for us tonight on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. The same two of us will be on the air tomorrow from Manchester Township down the shore in a Shore Conference matchup between the Barnegat Bengals and the Manchester Township Hawks. Don't forget, kickoff is at 6, but our pregame show starts at 5:30 due to a special pregame ceremony honoring Athletic Director Mike Lister. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator Haley Mejia, our graphics crew Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Carson Rosso, my producer and color commentator. We're going back to 2023, folks. We're doing double duty here on DWB. It's Damian Waiters. I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you tomorrow from Manchester. And if you're not a Shore Conference guy, we'll see you on Saturday between Morris Catholic and Gloucester Catholic from Camden County. Have a good one, folks. Pennsauken Washington Township 41, Pennsauken 0. I almost flipped the course of history right there, but we'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good one.